Let me say that as a country we have a serious drug problem that we must all stand up and face it. As I mentioned, we do research that informs our programs. We have done survey on the general population, and the preference rates are very high. Those who have been on some form of substance of abuse is about 18.2%. Compare that with the finding we came up with when we did the survey on secondary schools. 23 point, I think 2%. You can check in our website for the correct figures, right? How does that compare? Not very nice. There are more problems in our institutions than there are in the general population, and that's where the challenge is. And the shocking one was the survey we did on primary schools, the drug situation in primary schools, right? When you imagine that at 20% of 20% of the young, pupils in primary school have tried one or the other of the substance of abuse, it's a matter to worry about. With the current users of about 2.6%, right? Those are people who are on regular abuse of those substances. And, you have seen the reports is on our website, you can try it. On average, by 11 people have already abused the drugs. So we are saying that based on those figures, we have a problem that we must deal with. And the accusing fingers point to the parenting, the way we do our parenting, right, is an issue. I think we do not even monitor these young people we are bringing up and see what they are doing. When they go to the schools, I think there are also not very clear programs that they try to secure these young people from getting indulging in drug abuse. So we have a big challenge, and those are the statistics that we have in our website. You can check and you make a judgment yourselves. Well, you see, that is a fact that social media has a lot of influence, right? The young people are basically on social media. And a lot of these, influences, they kind of are a big problem that we have to deal with. So how much do you control access to social media of your young people? Sometimes you don't even know whether they sleep. So we are saying parenting is still the challenge, so we need to manage it. And I think as a society, we also need to kind of manage what we are, putting in our social media platforms and what kind of influence they may have on our young people. It's a big challenge. Well, it is a challenge. Social media is now taking over communication. In fact, I think the mainstream media just learns from the social media what is happening, and therefore I think the advantage is that with the social media going forward with the information, you have the opportunity to counter check and give an accurate, researched and professional response to what is in the social media. Sometimes I find that really, to be able to effectively manage your communication, you need to have an engagement formula with the social media, because it's fast growing and it's everywhere.
And we want to continue offering this program because there are so many people who are in leadership. We have not even started scratching the ground. And so it's a scheduled program. It's available almost every month, 2 months, in various areas in the country, in Mombasa, in Nakuru, in Lamu. And so our idea is to support organizations and leaders to succeed and lead properly. And we then advise organizations on how to effectively use them, how to set their own social media platforms, their own Twitter accounts, their own Facebook and YouTube accounts, and use that to disseminate information. A good case is what the CEO of Nacada said. Most of the youth in this country are on social media. And I believe for Nacada to reach youth and reach them effectively, they will have to employ a lot of social media platforms so that that message then gets to the targeted audience. So social media is a unit. We spend almost half a day on it.
Very funny emojis sometimes. Sometimes they respond to individual users using very comical comments.
But what we are saying is, how do we engage in a manner that ultimately we are able to project the truth about ourselves, and we are able to be understood even by the media, so that if they have to give out that information is factual, and you have a mechanism in which you can correct if it's not factual. This is the issues that are very critical as we look at this training.
I've been a senior servant in this country. So please come and say a word. I know you are part of the students for this.
Full day. So later I rose to Secretary Internal Security. When I pulled him,
all over the world and also in the region to talk about communication. As he rightfully said,